So trying to... That is really not the best. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. It extends wear time for up to 24 hours, lasted on me for like 12 hours, and it got stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. Like, oh, that's actually kind of disgusting. Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube video, or welcome if you don't know me. So I started a series recently called Blind Buying My Fragrance Wishlist. Part of me could go, you guys have just been loving these videos, so I had to keep going. But you know, selfishly, a girl has a wish list, and you guys really like these videos. I've had a lot of fragrances that have been on my wish list lately, and I was in France for the past month studying perfumery while I was in France, and I saw all these launches from afar. I was ordering them and buying them and ordering them to Canada. So now that I'm home, I thought I could try them all out and review them for you. If that sounds like a video you're interested, please like this video because that'll tell me to keep going. I was also away for the month, so there were a few things that I got in PR that I thought were really interesting, and I will include in this video as well. But if anything I'm showing you is sent to me from a brand, I will make that glaringly obvious. But yeah, I just thought blind buying my fragrance wish list would be super fun. So I filmed this over the past like week and a half, sort of like a vlog style video. Without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, and also, if you like perfume videos, subscribe because I'm your girl. Smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. Thank you for coming. Let's get into it. Hello friends, we have a package. I blind bought a bunch of things from Lucky Scent and they arrived. So let's open it up. I ordered some samples of fragrances that looked really good online, so let's smell them and see if they smell as good as they looked online. So I got one full size and I got some just samples. So let's start off with the samples. So the first one that I got is called Crushed Fruits from Regime de Fleur. I think that the packaging is so cute for these bottles. Kind of remind me of like commodity juice based on the color scheme of the launch. Wow. This is like how I wanted Peach's Revenge to smell, except it's not peachy, but Peach's Revenge really has a strong like red fruit, cherry. I don't know if plum is the right word, but it really has this kind of red, medicinal red fruit smell in Peach's Revenge. And this to me smells like if that were how I would have made it, you know, like this smells like how something I would make. Sometimes I'll smell fragrances and be like, I wish I made this. I wish I made this. Oh, it's orris butters that is what I'm smelling. Plum, raspberry, peaches, grapes, and pineapple. Yeah, and the orris in the middle is gorgeous. A delectable fruit jam opening with this really neutral, buttery orris mid. Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it. I don't want to like hype it a lot after I've just smelled it once very quickly, but I think that's very beautiful. And smooth, and I just find it really likable, and the sweetness is a good level. That is really yummy, really, really yummy. Okay, crushed fruits, I've let it sit for 5 minutes, and it's going kind of soapy, like soapy synthetic maybe. I find like the opening with the red fruits was really, really pretty, like juicy, gorgeous, and the fruits have kind of gone up. Like if the fruits are here, they kind of went like up into this kind of synthetic soap category, and then the orris has gone powdery in like a kind of stale way. So so far I'm not loving the dry down on this. I'll put it on skin to see. It doesn't smell bad, but it's just not as pleasant as it was in the opening. So I'm gonna put it on skin and see the way that it develops to see if it is any different. Okay, next up, let's smell Choux from Lise, which is supposed to be like a pastry scent. Yep, I'm getting like almond pastry. This smells like Afternoon Delight from Replica. I don't really like it. I don't like this that much. Like first vibe check, I would like this. Like I do usually like these kind of gourmands, but I'm just not loving this. This is like Afternoon Delight, but without the milk note, and if you added more lemon. Yeah, because it also kind of reminded me of Love Me Latte, which I didn't like, so Yeah, this one is a miss. I'm not really big on choux, which is good because I heard so many good reviews and I was not sure if I was missing out on something. Okay, so these three I picked out because they looked good, but I don't remember anything about them. So this is the Italie d'Orange Story of Your Life. I remember looking and there was this one particular note that I was really interested in that they had in here. Let's see if I can guess through smelling it. I'm getting spicy, powdery, and a little bit of civet. It reminds me of like Jicky from Guerlain. Something cozy about it, something homey, like comforting. Comforting because it reminds me of like an older fragrance, like something that I know from when I was a kid. Okay, the note that I was interested in is Divana. People say this smells like Blanche Bette. I don't really get that. Doesn't smell exactly to me the way that the notes are giving. So I'm putting this on skin and we'll see the way that this unfolds. It smells a little noisy at the beginning, like a little jumbled. I'm getting the bread and the cacao is really interesting, very pretty. And the Divana is kind of dancing on the top. What is Divana? A leaf, I think. Yeah, it's a leaf, but it has a fruity, almost strawberry-like smell. Yeah, which is adding this kind of fruity smell at the top. This is really interesting. It's kind of noisy and a little, there's like an earthy, foresty note in here. It smells a little lost to me and a little confusing. So let's try the And the World Is Yours from A Lab on Fire. I think that's kind of a cute name. This one I'm actually a little scared of. Okay, as I was decanting it, I got like the tiniest whiff and I'm really interested now and a little confused. This is Candied Citrus with a tuberosy, playful floral candy note. Wow, really fun. So cheeky and happy. Sparkly, clean, playful, fun, 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 fun. The white florals are coming out more. This is really fun. This is interesting. It's like if you like Love Don't Be Shy, you might like this because there is orange blossom. Kind of powdery, but more in a heliotrope powdery way than a floral powdery. I think it's very fun and playful and cheeky. I can imagine a girl wearing this who wears Love Shack Fancy, and it's kind of a take on orange blossom that's different from the monotonous orange blossoms that we've been smelling lately that are all kind of the same. So that one was really fun. Next up we have Jovois Aqua Memorabilis, which I think this might have a tangerine note because I ordered these on a day that I was particularly enjoying the smell of tangerine. And so I started looking into the notes. So I think that there might be this in here. Wow. Oh, this is really good. Wow, clementine, bitter orange, black pepper, vetiver. Most gorgeous, peppery, aquatic scent with a kind of a cooling vetiver in the background. I would love this on the man, and the opening is so delectable. The vetiver comes through really quickly and it turns into like a cool vetiver aquatic male forest scent where they would have an actor in a forest foraging through the woods and chopping wood and sailing a ship, and that's kind of what I'm smelling. And I'm into it. And the tangerine, oh, I'm just loving orange right now. Out of these, I had so much fun smelling them all. I don't think I found one that to me is like full bottle worthy just yet, but they were all really interesting to smell. Hello and welcome back. I have so many fragrances to share with you. Today is a really very exciting day. Guess what we have? Guess what we have? These are the new 2 fragrances from Glossier. Glossier Doux and Glossier Rêve, which I keep getting it wrong because doux means sweet in French. And so I keep mixing up doux and Rêve because this is not a sweet scent. This one is meant to be the gourmand. So I'm like, why did they call the one that's not sweet, sweet? And then this one, they called it Dream. To me, it's named so awfully and I will die on this hill. That said, these are 2 of the fragrances. When I was checking out, I was thinking these are egregiously expensive. And guess what? That was because I accidentally ordered 2 of Rêve. Yeah, I accidentally ordered 2 of Rêve. This is my package. It came with 3 boxes, and so I just kept the one in the packaging. I might give it to a friend or something. So packaging is about the same. My one little small complaint, the whole design of the bottle is made for right-handed people, for holding your perfume in your right hand. The thumbprint is made for your right thumb. Experience is just not fully there for me as a left-handed person. There are much bigger issues in the world. I'm not saying this is like a really big issue, but it's just one thing I noticed, and ever since I noticed it, now every time I bring them up, I'm like, oh, this is for right-handed people. So I just thought that was a little funny thing to point out because no one's ever pointed that out that I've seen before. So let's get into the fragrances themselves. So let's start off with the one that I expected to really like, which is Glossier You Rêve. So let's spray this on there. So this one is supposed to be a gourmand, and the original Glossier You was the trend starter of these second skin scents. It was really popular, and it was a brand that only launches one fragrance. If you're a brand and you only have one fragrance, you want a fragrance that's going to work for anyone of any type, any gender, and it morphs to everyone's skin. I think that's a really strong concept, and a lot of brands have followed that in suit. Missing Person, so many second skin scents came inspired by Glossier. So it started this trend. So my thoughts for new Glossier fragrances is that they would be trendsetters. You know, if they're gonna launch a gourmand, it's not gonna be a gourmand that's derivative or following off of the tail of a pop. Like, it's not gonna be a pistachio or a cherry. It's gonna be the next generation of gourmands. It's gonna start a new trend. So that was kind of my expectations based on kind of nothing, but just my expectations based on what Glossier has done in the past, what's worked for them, like who they're known to be in the fragrance industry, I guess. So this is called The Rush of You. Glossier You Rêve is a lush, dreamy gourmand fragrance that opens with rich buttercream, followed by an addictive center of plum butter, toasted almond, iris, and creamy white sandalwood, heightened by a warm musky base, driven by ambrox. Never overpowering your unique scent because you are the final ingredient. This fragrance, I'm always so back and forth on how to review things because most fragrances fall into the I like them category, and if I only reviewed things by saying I like it or I don't like it, then you don't really get anything as a viewer because not everyone has, like, my taste doesn't really matter, but it also does. So today I decided I'm going to review things by telling you my simple thoughts and then my more complex, nuanced opinion and more of an informed information about the perfume. This one, I don't like it that much. You know what I mean? Like, I like it, just not that much. To me, this is really woody, actually. I get so much ambroxan that it's really kind of overpowering the scent for me. I don't get the gourmand notes. I guess I get the plum butter. Plum has like a bit of a citrusy top. You know, actually smelling this now, I get a lot of the plum butter. I don't get the buttercream. And I don't really get the toasted almond either. It just smells like plums. I could see this as the new generation. I think a lot of people are predicting plum to be a new up-and-coming note. It's in Noises on Mute, it's in this, it's in Harry Styles' fragrances that everyone in the world has completely forgotten about. I just don't have too much to say about this. I think it kind of smells like Glossier You, but with plums. It's not even that gourmand. It just smells like that ambroxan, really synthetic woody smell. Like, I guess it's not woody, it's like a musk, but to me it smells like woody, like almost pencil shavings and plum. And it's okay. And when I put it on my skin, it smells a little like cherries. And I've wear tested this a few times and I've just never left feeling like this is fragrance that makes me so excited. And I also feel like it goes away really quickly. Like, anytime I put it on, give it about 3 hours, she's gone. She's out the door. Where did it go? I don't know. So I would just say this fragrance is just incredibly mid to me. I don't think it smells bad. I just think it smells really forgettable. And now that I'm giving it like a negative review, I do feel inclined to like hear it out a little more and wear it a little more. So I don't know if that's subject to change, but I think I'm kind of struggling between how I actually feel about the fragrance and how I want to feel about the fragrance. For context, I don't like Glossier You. I don't think it's a bad fragrance. I think it's an iconic fragrance. I think it's an exceptional fragrance in what it's done for the industry and for my friends, because it's both of my best friends' signature scents. I just don't think it smells good on my skin. And anytime I put it on my skin, I just don't like how it goes. So the whole thing of Glossier You, where you are the final ingredient, it's a whole skin chemistry thing. Glossier You does not choose me. Glossier You, when I put it on my skin, it does not like me. And that's okay. I watched a TED Talk from Barb Stegman, the owner of 7 Virtues, and she said that what, 10, 11, 20% of people will never like you. It was some number between 10 and 20% of people will never like you. And Glossier You dislikes me. And no amount of me liking Glossier You conceptually will make it like me back on my skin. So that's where I sit with Glossier You. It's not a bad fragrance. I don't not recommend it because I've put on some of my friends, I put on some of my best friends. I would recommend it to my followers, but I also recommend putting it on skin and seeing if you like it on skin, because I don't, but I know the impact, I know the vibes. Shout out Julia Fox. Anyways, I just think this is like kind of forgettable on my skin. It smells really synthetic and just kind of meh. Next up we have Glossier You Doux. This one is the white kind of creamy looking one. And this is the one I didn't expect to like because it's like a kind of a woody scent. To me, Glossier You, the thing that I don't like about it is that pencil shavings. And I guess that's ambroxan, but to me that smells, I guess it's like a musk, but to me it smells woody. It's like this weird musk woody thing. Like to me it smells woody, like pencil shavings. And that I don't like. So seeing that they took Glossier You and made a woody version, I was like, not gonna like this one, but I still ordered it for the sake of a review. Glossier You is a soft and serene woody fragrance that opens with sweet violet, Palo Santo, frankincense, and myrrh. True to you, never overpowering your unique scent because you are the final ingredient. One thing I do have to commend Glossier on is the fact that they're not trying to chase this trend of doing constantly stronger, constantly longer lasting, constantly more powerful perfumes, because it leads to some horrible perfumery in my opinion, and just I think it's just a lot of misinformation, to be honest. So I like that they're kind of like, I appreciate them for like marketing the fact that your fragrance doesn't need to be a million years long or like super strong. So this scent, I'll put it on. Simply put, this is beautiful. It's really soft. I get a bit of a floral aspect. I think that's maybe the violet leaf. It smells soft, a little powdery, and the thing that really puts a smile on my face about this fragrance is it smells like something I've smelled before. And the way I described it is it smells like my best friend's house. I can't tell you which friend, I can't tell you which house. It just smells like a friend's house. And that's my way of putting my finger on something that smells nostalgic and happy and like reminds me of somewhere where I feel comfortable, space where I go and then I feel comfortable. Like, you know when you go to your grandma's house and then you get there and then they're always nice to you. It's just like a new space that you go into. So there's cookies made for you. There's maybe soup cooking, like they're playing cards with you, they're caring for you. And it's just like this space where you are being attended to and you feel homely, and it's not your home, but you feel like really safe and comforted there. That's what this smells like to me. And I want to take the grandma out of the analogy because a lot of people have associations with that word, and that's not what I'm trying to say. Like it's not like that. It's like, it smells like a friend's house, but it provides me with that comforting feeling of like when you go to a family member's house and there's cookies cooking for you and all this stuff without, it doesn't smell like cookies, but it smells like a friend's house. I don't know how to put it. Like it smells soft, warm. I don't even think it smells spicy, but they say it smells spicy. Yeah, airy, cozy, very comfortable, and just like, yeah, if someone smelled like kind of like laundry a little bit, like I don't know if the scent would be coming from my friend's laundry or you know what, but it smells very much like just your safe person or your safe place. Yeah, I feel like we've all experienced things where this is such a fun phenomenon of being a kid and being in like elementary school, and I guess it continues on to adulthood, but in elementary school, like when you're friends with someone and you see them at school all the time, and then you get to go on a play date to their house. And then it's like, you unlock this space where they spend all their time and you're like, oh, this is where you are. Like, this is your space. This is where you hang out. This is where you exist. And then it kind of like smells like them a little bit, you know, and it's maybe their laundry products or the food or who knows, but this kind of smells like, I don't know exactly why, but it kind of smells like that phenomenon of like your best friend's house. And I know there's an SNL skit about this from Ariana Grande. And anyways, so that's kind of what it smells like to me. So I was very, very pleased with that. That said, this fragrance lasts maybe about 30 seconds. Not 30 seconds. It lasts 3 hours on me. And again, I am the last person to really come for fragrances with longevity because as I explained in my Perfume 101 video, there's certain chemical realities that we have to accept are going to exist. For example, if this is a perfume that is just bergamot. Like bergamot has chemical properties. That means that you're gonna smell it right at the beginning and then it's gonna be gone because it's volatile. It's like the alcohol that boils off when you start cooking. Bergamot just does that. And like certain notes just don't last. And this formula is very light, it's very airy, it's very soft. It's not gonna be super long lasting. That said, there is a certain point where it's like, okay, you're spending money on this and the scent to smell, you know what I mean? And like, I personally think like it's already become so soft to the skin for me. Like maybe if I really put this on all over my clothes, I do think the longevity is not like incredible for this. So if you want to reapply or like anything like that, just do keep in mind that that is a consideration for these Glossier fragrances. Okay, now we have a very exciting fragrance that is kind of tangentially related to this, and that is from Future Society. This is called the Optimal Habitat Fragrance Enhancing Primer, and it's a intensifying base for your perfume. And as I was just saying, this fragrance, I wish it lasted a little longer. Let's try out this. This is a life extending, extends wear time for up to 24 hours. Yeah, arginine and citric acid balance your skin's pH to sustain the life of the fragrance. This is a very biotechnology company. I think they're based out of Boston, I want to say. And they created this first of its specific formulation, fragrance enhancing primer. So you can see it right here. But yeah, so I thought I put one spray on this hand of Glossier You Doux, and I thought that I could put on my primer and then see if it works. So this was another one of the wish list items on my thing. I think that this would be super magical and just like such a good way for those of you who've spent money on a fragrance that doesn't last long enough to still get the bang for your buck without having to find dupes or alternatives or layering combos that will make your fragrance last longer. I think this is a really good thing to just have in your collection if it works. So let's try it. I will say I've actually tried it before, but for the sake of this video, I want to make sure I've tried it a few times. So we're going to do another test today. Spray and rub in where you apply fragrance. Allow serum to absorb for 30 seconds. Okay, so I've sprayed and then I have to rub in. It just feels like not sticky, but it just feels hydrating. And I'll wait 30 seconds. Okay, in terms of scent, it smells kind of like a Cetaphil cream or Cetaphil or CeraVe. Like it's not sticky at all, it just feels hydrated. So now we're gonna go on and spray Glossier You Doux on top. Okay, I did actually spray way more. I need to spray my other wrist because I think I sprayed more. Okay, just to make sure we're even. All right, now I'm gonna go about my day. The time is currently literally 12 o'clock on the dot. So I'm gonna check in, I don't know, 6 p.m., see how it's worked. Okay, that's all for the day. That is all for today. Let's come back with more fragrances later. Hello, it's been like 3 hours since I filmed that last check-in where I put on the 2 fragrances. I have since gone to the gym. I didn't really do anything too groundbreaking. I wanna say I don't condone wearing really strong perfume to the gym. This fragrance is not smellable unless your nose is touching my wrist. So that's why I wore this to the gym. I also thought it would be interesting to test out the fragrance primer since it's supposed to stabilize your pH. So I figured maybe we should get a little bit of a sweat on, see if anything happens. I think I can actually smell the fragrance better on the side with the primer. That said, the difference is so minuscule. You know what? Actually, it's about the same. Never mind. So far, not really looking that great for the primer, but I will try it out more and get back to you by the end of the video on my thoughts. Let's talk about 2 perfumes that I did not buy. These were both sent to me in PR, but I thought they would be interesting ones to include in this video because they were on my wish list. Another fragrance that I wanted to review for this video is the Merit Retrospect perfume. I got a lot of requests to review it, so I figured I might as well include it in this video. A few weeks ago, I was at the fragrance house where this fragrance was made. I was there for like a different reason, but I was walking by and they have a bunch of fragrances that they release. They have like a little display of a bunch of released fragrances that they made. And this was one of the fragrances and I was like, oh my God, because I've seen this all over my Instagram. So I sprayed it on and I got to smell it for the first time. I since received it in PR, but these are all my thoughts of just coming across it in the wild. This fragrance originally reminded me a little bit of White Rice from Denom. It's definitely like an orris scent. You have to like orris. There's a lot of ambrette, which has a pear facet, but it's like a musky note. It's a second skin scent. In terms of the bottle, I think it's sort of interesting. I definitely don't have anything that looks like it. It kind of reminds me of like Glossier You a little bit because it has your fingers go in it. Like it's like a compressed glass that's supposed to be kind of fit in the palm of your hand. Now there's supposed to be an aldehyde in this that's kind of, people have said, reminiscent to Chanel No. 5. I don't think, if it wasn't listed in the fragrance notes, I don't think I would have picked up on an aldehydic note. You know what? Okay, it is crisp, but I do think that's the pear or the ambrette. It's like really crisp right in the opening, but then soft, super soft, and it's orris, not iris, so it has that kind of, I don't know, smooth carrot-like note. I think it's really pretty. It's an extrait de parfum, so I think this is really pretty. This is super controversial, and I didn't know that. Like when I first posted just my review from just smelling it in the wild, and I was in fragrance school. I was in the middle of school when this launched, so I wasn't watching all the reviews, but apparently this is super controversial. A lot of people absolutely hate this. A lot of people absolutely love this. A lot of people say it's just supposed to be like a copy of Glossier, which I don't get that at all. To me, this is like, it's very trendy. I feel like orris notes and pear notes are super trendy right now, and so it just seems like a trendy scent. It's more of like a fruity floral than a your skin scent. You know, I think there might be kind of musks in this, but it's not a molecular scent. It's a fruity floral scent, but it's not your typical fruity floral because it's pear, ambrette, and orris. So it's like the most expensive, fancy, luxe fruity floral. This is like a fruity floral equivalent of a charcuterie board, you know? It's like not like, this is like a charcuterie board to cheese and crackers type of fruity floral. Like this is a charcuterie board of fruity florals, because it's literally like orris is incredibly expensive and ambrette is incredibly expensive. These are like really luxe notes, but projection and longevity was really good for me on this. I'm not saying go out and blind buy it. It's not like my new signature scent, but it definitely is very classy, very bougie, very pretty, and very nice. So impressed. Okay, I'm gonna grab the other fragrance that I got in PR today. Or I didn't get this in PR today, I got this a little while ago. And same thing, this is one where I smelled this fragrance in store and I filmed my reaction, and what I have to say is completely the same now as it was the first day when I smelled it in store as a customer. I received this from Centrique. They're a niche fragrance boutique in Vancouver. They sell samples and they're just like a great Canadian boutique. So this was not sent to me from Parfum de Marly. It was just sent to me from Centrique. Love Centrique. All positive things to say about Centrique. Not a big fan of this fragrance. I will say the bottle is gorgeous, and I don't think I've ever held one of their like glass bottles before. I've only held the frosted ones, and I really like the packaging. But the scent is just awful. Like, not awful. The first time I smelled it, I thought the interesting was pretty and I could tell what was happening. It was like a new spin on this like violet scent, but it's so screechy and so long lasting. There's this phenomenon where like, if you try a scent and you don't really like it, you can leave thinking, you know what, not the biggest fan of that fragrance, but maybe for someone else. But this fragrance was the circumstance where I sprayed it on and I was like, okay, there's aspects I like, there's aspects I don't like. But then the scent lasted on me for like 12 hours and it got stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and screechier and screechier. The scent projects and lasts perfectly, perfectly. I would argue there's no reason it should last that long. I sprayed it on this card. It's a soapy, crisp, but it just makes my head hurt. It is like soapy and twinkly. I don't know. I know there's Guerlain's Insolence, which is another purple violet perfume, but this one is it's more perfumey than Insolence. Insolence is very much powder. This one is has like a pear note or something fruity in here. But yeah, I would just say this is, if you want a scent that is soapy, fruity, clean, elegant, incredibly long lasting, that is this perfume. That said, I do not like this and I probably will never reach for this, unfortunately. It's not all bad. Again, when I smelled it, I was like, there's aspects I like, but I was not able to part ways with it when I was ready to leave it. And because of that, I have a bit of a grudge against this perfume. So that's what I have to say. That said, thank you Centrique for sending it over. If any of you guys need samples of niche perfumes or need to buy a niche perfume or want to buy this, Centrique, Vancouver, not being paid, I really appreciate them and I feel bad that I really dislike this perfume. And finally, some fragrances that I got in PR recently were from Dolce & Gabbana. This is their like fancy, it's called the Velvet Velvet collection. This was really interesting because at first I was like, oh, like all these fragrance brands are coming out with a private collection, but I looked it up and Dolce & Gabbana's had this collection since 2011, so oops, I think they were probably one of the first. Anyways, I was really impressed by this one called Velvet Infusion. I looked up the perfumer and it seems like we've lived very similar lives. He was also raised in California and then he studied at Asipka, so literally the same person. This is a tea scent. It's kind of reminiscent of Armani Privé's Thé Oolong, which is my favorite green tea scent, or one of my favorite green tea scents, except this one has a mate note, so it has more of that powdery, like matcha powder kind of vibe. Super fresh, green, just awakening. Last few mornings I've woken up and the first thing I've done is run and put this on. I was very, very pleasantly introduced to the line by this fragrance, so very happy with it. Shout out to the perfumer. I will definitely be looking into more of his work. The other one that I got was this one called Velvet Safrano, which is a saffron scent. I'm not usually the biggest saffron girly, but I've come to realize that saffron is actually so expensive that a lot of brands that say they use saffron don't actually, and I think that based on the price point and just like knowing the private collection, this is real saffron. I'm gonna spray it on my leg. This is really pretty. It's kind of like, there's something different to this. If you've smelled a lot of saffron, you might get to a point where you're like, oh, it's just like a saffron perfume, but there's something to this. This kind of reminds me of what Born to Stand Out wishes that they did. Like a lot of the Born to Stand Out perfumes use saffron, but they go really like, just bad. I don't really know how to put it, like Dirty Heaven. This is like what Dirty Heaven wishes it was. This smells like most of the Born to Stand Out fragrances, if they were done well, I guess. I don't know. If you saw my Born to Stand Out video, you'll see that there's kind of some kind of DNA that just smelled really bad under all of them. Like it would be saffron, but then it would go really sour and plastic and like gasoline kind of. Like this smells more refined and smooth and pretty and rounded. It's just the most intoxicating. Like I feel like this is nighttime. This is a pretty black dress. This is intoxicating. Warm, rich, ambery, resinous, so incredible. I'll put up the perfumer. I don't remember who it is. Aurélien Richard, I think. So beautiful. Literally, the more I smell it, the more I want to smell it. Absolutely addictive. I don't know which one I like better out of these two. They did also send me this one called Velvet Desert Oud, and I'm not the biggest oud person, and I wanted to like this one. I didn't, so that's my thoughts on that one. Hello friends and welcome back to this video. I'm sickeningly pale. I bought this fragrance from Lucky Scent. It's called a tonka Hysteria from d'Orsay Extrait de Parfum. And the reason I bought this was because I was going through the Lucky Scent website and I just wanted something, you know when you're shopping online and you just have this like empty void and you don't know what you want, but you want something. And then this showed up on their website. I'd never heard of the brand before. I looked at the notes and I thought, oh my God, tonka bean orris. I need it now. And they didn't have any samples, so I had to blind buy a full size. And a rational person wouldn't just blind buy a fragrance they've never heard of. So obviously, as a rational person, I decide, let's look up some reviews. I look them up, no reviews. I mean, I find reviews, but they're in French or different languages. They're from, none of them are like watchable or understandable to me. That you think would make someone press the brakes, and I pressed the gas instead, and I pressed order. So I blind bought this baby, and let's hope it's good. So the funniest thing about me blind buying this is a few days after I got it, I went to La Samaritaine in Paris. They had it, and I was like, should I smell it here or should I get my first reaction on camera? And I decided to get my first reaction on camera at La Samaritaine. So I've smelled this before, but it was kind of in passing. So this is the bottle. Let's spray it on. I've smelled it on myself before. This is warm, spicy blanket. This is cashmere. This is fall. It's very warm. Come closer. A bit of a cherry-like opening and something that kind of reminds me of cake batter, but it's not completely gourmand. It's definitely a unisex scent. Very powerful, strong. I had this sprayed on a piece of paper and I kept that piece of paper by my bed for like 2 weeks, so I was a big fan of it. And this is a very expensive fragrance. I'm not recommending blind buying this or like overhyping it. I don't know if I've come to a point where this is like such an integral staple to my collection, because again, this is my first time opening it. I haven't actually really worn it on skin, but I do think it's a very pretty scent and I don't actually regret it. So I'm happy with that. It's still kind of it's kind of a come closer smell, I would say. Not that I have any issues with projection or longevity. So yeah, this one's interesting. It's more of like a warm fall sweater. It's a very cozy scent and I think it's pretty. I think I have to wear it more to like really figure it out because it's a little boring actually. Like I'm telling you it's really interesting because it's all the notes that I really like, but like it is a little boring. Like, I don't know, but I don't know if that's like necessarily a bad thing. It's because it's safe and it smells safe and cozy and like vaguely reminiscent of like a scent profile I like, but it doesn't really directly remind me of something. Like, it just smells, I don't even know. See, like it seems like it has all the right things. Like, the notes look so good. Maybe there's just a little too much tonka bean, I don't know, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous scent. I just think this would be really nice layered with like a rose perfume or something like that. I just think it's this beautiful, warm, gorgeous, cozy background. And as much as I like it, I do find it, I don't even know how to say, but just a little boring, which is crazy because based on the notes, I would think like, I need it. This is so good. And the dry down is delicious, but yeah, it's just a little boring. I don't know why, but it's so pretty. And the more the orris comes out, the more I'm like, yes. So anyways, let's, so yeah, those are my thoughts on this fragrance, and let's move on to the next one. Welcome back to my channel. The lighting is not amazing because it's getting a little dark out. There's a lamp right beside me that doesn't seem to work, and I have a pimple patch on, so just don't look. Why are you looking? I just finished my first exam today, my first 2 exams today, so I can finally wear perfume again and stop freaking studying. So I wanted to put on the perfume that I got and show you. I've held up to my own standards of wanting to keep this a secret, so I didn't actually look up the notes. Oof, I think I showed you the bottle and the packaging and everything. It's really, really pretty. One thing I want to comment on is the sensorial sensation of the bottle, because there's a really nice wood cap. This is extremely light to the touch. It kind of feels like a cork a little bit, like not actually but it feels the weight and the size of a cork that would be on a wine bottle. The top is made of cork. And I was saying, it's really reminding me of cork. It's cork. It's because it is. The next up we have the atomizer, which I will show you the atomizer. Okay, it looks like it's a pressurized atomizer. Then we have this round ring here, which is different on different sides. It's more bulbous on certain sides, and it does have Bottega Veneta engraved. So, like I mentioned that the bottle looks carbonated. I don't know if this has to do with the blown glass. I think it does. Now, this kind of component would have to be hand blown. You wouldn't be able to manufacture this, so this is a very difficult feat. You can see the edges are different on each side. Some parts are more rounded than others. So we have the amazing glass on the bottom. We have this, I don't know, brass, whatever it might be, the atomizer, which seems to fit seamlessly with that. And finally, the wooden cap, which I'm actually I don't know what I'm most a fan of, but I really like the wooden cap. Then we have this extremely heavy, like, I don't know, maybe about 1 pound marble that this goes on top of. So this is a separate piece. I originally thought they were connected from the photos, but this is a really heavy marble that almost looks like a coaster. I think it's so interesting to have a stand for a fragrance. I never thought of that. I haven't seen any brands do that, but I think it's kind of creative, which I like. So let's talk about the fragrance itself. I'm gonna spray it on and smell it. Obviously, I've sprayed it in the box and smelled it from the box. So I've gotten the vibe of it, but I haven't actually smelled it on skin. This is so fall. It is warm, a little cardamom, and almost a little animalic, but just this touch when you get really close and take a big breath in, that's like it's animalic the way that Musk Ravageur is animalic. Yeah, it has that kind of like sour. There's definitely an animalic touch with these beautiful, warm, spicy aromatics. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. I think that this is labdanum with a bit of leather. I do have my computer with me. It's funny, I was just watching K-drama, but let me get back. Blending intoxicating notes of Madagascar geranium with the spicy warmth of Guatemalan cardamom. I don't know if I said that, but I'm definitely smelling cardamom. Winter lemon, cinnamon, and geranium. I don't know what winter lemon is. I kind of want to look it up. Maybe I'll add something in. What is winter lemon? I mean, I'm assuming it's like a lemon that is not picked in the summertime. Then we have cardamom oil and cinnamon, which are very, very strong. I definitely get the cardamom. Heart note is Jasmine Absolute, heart of the season. Okay, so it's interesting because they're not just going into the actual fragrance notes, but they're going into when they are harvested. So rather than this being a lemon that's picked in like July, this is a winter lemon. I don't actually know the way that changes the lemon. I should, but I don't know that yet. Lemon is like, I think lemon is technically good all year, but I don't know how the winter would change it. If it would be like more green, or if it has less water, so it's like more pronounced. I don't know. I'm not sure. Jasmine, which they don't go into whether they use jasmine sambac or grandiflorum, but they go into the fact that it is the heart of the season. So it was probably right around summer, June, July kind of picked. So potentially the best of the best, which is interesting. I like that they go into that. And I like the discussion on the raw materials, orange blossom absolute and geranium oil. The white florals, I mean, okay, to be fair, I did just spray it. So of course I'm getting the top notes. Of course I'm getting the cardamom and the cinnamon. But for me, I think the florals are more of like a supporting role. I don't think that this is a scent I would classify as a floral. Maybe like a spicy floral. There's patchouli oil in the base, which I generally am not a big patchouli girl, but I'm not really getting it. I am getting an earthiness. I am getting a bit of a cooling vetiver, which there is vetiver, and bourbon vanilla is absolutely present. I would say that I definitely get like this aromatic, interesting, like, yeah, definitely cardamom, cinnamon, and vetiver. The patchouli, not really smelling it, but there's kind of like an earthy touch on this. I think this smells incredible, really pretty, and just like a hint of this animalic touch that I'm obsessed with. Hello, I switched the lighting a little bit. One that I grabbed with my eyes closed was Aqua Sale. Now I'm gonna guess that this is a aquatic scent and it may be salty. This one's making me a little nervous, but I don't know why. I also got it on my fingers. I think I really like this, but I'm also a little confused. Like, there's part of it that I'm like, oh, that smells really incredible, but other parts of it that I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of disgusting, which I like it. I like the push and pull. Okay, let's smell. I get lemon, cooling, minty. Okay, I like it a lot. I guess that's not very helpful for me to just say I like it, but I really like this. There's a bit of a sweetness in it, and it's not, you know, gourmand or particularly feminine leaning. It's definitely a unisex scent, but there's something about it that I really see myself in. I love the first one. The first one is very cardamom to me, and it's drying down to be a little more floral. But this one, I don't know if I like it even better. It's like aquatic but coniferous. Oh, it's labdanum and juniper berries. That's why. So it's not like, okay. Black pepper, mandarin, orris butter, sea salt accord. Okay, I put this on 3 times in a row now because it's really blowing my mind. Juniper berry oil, black pepper oil, mandarin oil in the opening. Heart note of sea salt accord, orris butter, and osmanthus absolute, and galbanum oil. Base of vetiver, labdanum, and eco musk R. I don't know if I would have picked any of that out. I mean, maybe I get the labdanum, where it's kind of, I don't even know how to describe this, but this smells great. Who is the perfumer? Because I want to give them a big kiss. Both of these are really, really, really my style. This is like, it's a lot spicier than I pictured. I saw sea salt, so I thought, okay, mineral, beach, aqua sale. I was thinking beachy, watery. No, this is warm, earthy, a little cooling aromatic because there's vetiver, but then there's like orris and labdanum, so it's kind of warm. It's kind of like a fresh spicy for people who like warm spicy. Oh my God. One thing I don't like about Fragrantica is they're often wrong. Instead of putting orris butter, they put orris and butter.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
There's no butter in this fragrance, there's orris butter. This is what the Fragrantica pyramid looks like. That's not the notes. I'm actually pissed. Like, why did that ruin my day? Why am I pissed? Because of all the fragrance notes, if you look at show votes, people voted for the butter. I feel like that shows that fragrance is marketing. Like, orris butter is a fragrance note, but just one typo of someone putting orris, comma, butter. Out of all the notes that are actually in the fragrance, people are voting that this smells the most like butter. The power of suggestion plays so much into it. I almost get like a bit of Angel's Share by Kilian. Am I crazy? Am I crazy for that? I really, really like it. It's like, it's not your typical salty fragrance. Like I was picturing salt, beach, like you think of a salt fragrance and my brain can like fill in the rest of the formula. Okay, salt, lemon, maybe seaweed, cologne, you know, ambergris, musk, like you could just fill it. But this is really warm spicy. The other one, as it sits, the galbanum, is coming out a little more, and maybe the patchouli as well. The first one is definitely pulling a little more masculine on my skin. I'm having a really fun time with these, so let's pick the next one, which I just grabbed, and it is called Alchemy. Okay, ready? Okay, this is pink pepper. Pink pepper smells like dill to me. Dill, but then it's turning into this kind of like lipstick. I've never smelled anything like this before. Oh my god, I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much fun. I cannot believe it. It's like sweet and a little spicy. It kind of reminds me of like an old fragrance, but not in an old way. Like this smells like an old, like this smells like a perfume from the 1920s without actually smelling like a perfume from the 1920s. Like, okay, you know those fragrances like Chanel No. 5 that a lot of people are like, oh, they're so floral, like I could never wear anything like that. Or like, that reminds me of my grandma, like a lot of those fragrances that we smell and they smell dated to us. Like this to me smells the way that would have smelled to someone back in the day, if that makes sense. This to me smells like I'm smelling Chanel No. 5 for the first time. I'm smelling Jicky for the first time. I'm smelling, but I'm not, but it's not 2024. Like, you know, I'm smelling Chanel No. 5 in 1925 when it came out. And this doesn't smell like Chanel No. 5, but it has like, you know, it's like a floral scent, I think, but it smells really new and novel, but it's still, for a second it had that like cosmetic lipstick kind of smell, but it's kind of going away to lend itself to something a little more aromatic. This one has, oh, it's, what? What? The notes. Okay, pink pepper was, okay, I was right that it's pink pepper, like pink pepper, and then mandarin orange, nutmeg, lavender, myrrh. These are breaking my brain. Oh my god, I went back to Aqua Sale. I don't even know how to put it. Aqua Sale smells like, I don't know how to describe it. It just smells like vaguely warm. I'm breaking my brain. You can see me shutting down. I think I'm just like, I've been smelling so much today. But we have 3 more to go, or we actually have 2 more to go. Okay, the next one is called Come With Me. See, I'm using the dabber and it just, of course, goes all over me, which is so fun. I got it kind of all over myself. What? What am I smelling? I also get orris butter, but there's something really weird and like off-putting, but not. Overall, I'm so intrigued by these fragrances and I'm having such a good time that even though I'm like, it's off-putting, I'm on the edge of my seat. There's like a carrot note and I'm like, is there orris in all of these fragrances? And then right when I put it on, I thought I got like an orange note. And anyways, I'm just gonna read the notes actually because I don't know what's in it. It's 7:30. I could literally go to sleep for like 5 days right now. Italian bergamot, facets of iris butter. Okay, I definitely get the iris butter. Artichoke, vetiver, and vanilla. Okay, Sim Trap artichoke, which I don't know who Sim Trap is. Let me look. Is it Simrai? Oh my god, okay, so funny. Okay, so basically there's a bunch of perfume houses that employ people to make perfume, and I'm having such a good time with these perfumes that I'm starting to wonder like who's the perfumer because it's not listed. And a lot of these brands have their own raw materials, they have their own innovation and, you know, I guess innovation that they bring to projects and notes that they bring to projects. Anyways, these notes are really fun and I was wondering who is the perfumer, because when you list the perfumer then you know what house it's coming out of. Anyways, they didn't list the perfumer, but they did list a note called Sim Trap Artichoke, which Sim Trap is from Sim Rise, which is kind of a smaller, but they're incredible. And they made Minuit de Me, which is one of my favorite perfumes ever. So Sim Rise is really, really checking the box for me right today. So Sim Trap Artichoke, bergamot oil, carrot seed oil. That is the carrot that I smell. Oh my god, I feel so good about myself because I was smelling this and I'm like, I don't know what I'm smelling, but I get carrot and I get orris. So yeah, that was right. But then there's a base of vetiver, bourbon and vanilla, and leather. There's a lot of overlap between these fragrances. They seem to be very comfortable in the warm, ambery, spicy category. I really am liking this Come With Me one. It has a pretty, it just smells really pretty, I guess. For lack of a better word, I'm starting to get a little sleepy. This one smells really pretty. Oh my God, I'm actually so pissed. Fragrantica needs to fire someone right now because there's no butter in this. One fragrance left. Now this fragrance is called Colpo di Sole, which I think sole means sun. Also, I love Italy. I didn't really know Italian people until coming to my program. There's a girl in my program from Italy and I love her. I think she's so cool. Just listening to her talk, I'm so intrigued by you. Okay, finally, this one is this is the one that's like, this is different. This is a lemony, I don't know, neroli. I'm almost getting a bit of a sock note. Don't know where that could be from. This is really pretty. Again, sweet, candied. Oh my God, there's ambrette. That is so funny. So this one has angelica root oil and bergamot oil, which is interesting. Angelica is actually a wild celery, and it's one of the most expensive fragrances in perfumery. And then there's bergamot oil, orange blossom absolute, osmanthus absolute, ambrette seed oil, which is like musky, kind of pear, a little nutty. And then base notes of bourbon, vanilla extract, vetiver oil, and eco musk are. I really like this. Yeah, it's like there's something about it that smells, you know, like I've smelled something like this before. I think that argument can be made for pretty much anything, but like this one, I think I see what's happening. Like I could picture this in a family of perfumes that have similar notes or like smell in the same family, but no specific fragrances are coming to mind in a strong and coherent manner. You know, it's not like, oh, this smells like this. Like, it's like, okay, I get what's happening. It's kind of like a fruity, fruity floral, citrusy floral, summery, beachy, neroli scent. But it's really an interesting use of angelica and what was the other one? Ambrette. Those ones are not usually used like that. Ooh hoo hoo, is this one my favorite? Colpo di Sole. I don't think I've smelled anything like this before. Okay, I'm having so much fun with this. Oh, someone says it smells like Diptyque Philosophus. I guess I could maybe see that, except it's more, and then Neroli Orangier for Matière Première. I think that's probably like a little more similar. Anyways, that is really interesting. Honestly, this one, the one on the back of my hand, the salty one, really is turning into like kind of Killian Angel share. I don't know why. The one on the front is a little more patchouli, geranium. And then this one here is just, it's just stunning. It's dazzling. It is taking my breath away. I'm having the best time. These are so fun. Thank you, Bottega, for sending me these to me. I will maybe make a follow-up or I don't know, but basically that's what I smelled for today and that's what I think of them. So I'll see you guys later and well, goodbye.